The world is reacting to strikes on Iran by U.S. and Israeli forces that killed Iran's supreme leader. Hear the outpouring of both support for the decision and cries for the U.S. to keep its hands off Iran. And in Central Florida, protesters gathered today to make their own voices heard as the conflict heats up.
I can't say I'm surprised, but I will say I'm angry.
We're live at Orlando City Hall, where another protest is set to start tomorrow. But first, breaking news out of Iran tonight. Iranian state media now confirming the death of the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. On Eyewitness News at 6, we told you when President Trump announced that the Ayatollah was dead, and we were waiting official confirmation from Iran, and here it is. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei dead after nearly 37 years as the supreme leader. Again, this tonight is confirmed through media in Iran. And we're expecting a protest in downtown tomorrow at noon. Good evening, I'm Greg Warmoth, and this is what it looked like this afternoon in Orlando when people gathered to protest the U.S. and Israeli strikes in Iran. This was on Alafaya Trail in Waterford Lakes Town Center. Channel 9's J.J. Burton was there. He joins us now live from Orlando City Hall, where we'll be seeing a protest of sorts tomorrow. J.J., again, you were at that other protest this afternoon.
Yeah, a lot of people there, and a lot of people will be here tomorrow from 12 to noon. Now, there's two different sides of the issue. There's those who agree with the president's decision, and there's others on the other side who don't agree. From the signs they're holding high to their amplifying chants here on the corner of Alafaya Trail, their message is loud and clear.
I think I feel tired. I think a lot of working class people are feeling tired right now. It seems like there's always some other country being bombed.
Videos like this is what Americans woke up to Saturday morning.
I'm mad.
President Donald Trump gave the order to strike Iran overnight. He says the move took out most of Iran's leadership, including their supreme leader. And while protesters here are speaking out against it, there are others on the other side of this, and they say Iran left the president no choice.
People that are on the outside need to understand that we've been the first victims of the Iranian regime's brutality for almost 50 years. So we know the brutality that we have to deal with the government that's in Iran that does not represent the people. We don't want a theocracy anymore. We want a separation of church and state.
And the president says the bombings will continue into the week, and he called for Iranians to rise up against their government.
I think it's funny that Trump can get on that stage and talk about the danger or the threat that Iran poses on American citizens.
And I got to correct myself. That rally that will be here tomorrow will be from 12 to 2, not 12 to noon. 12 to 2, and it'll be right out here. Reporting live in Orlando, I'm J.J. Burton, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
All right, J.J., thank you. And developing tonight, conflict having a huge impact on flights in both Central Florida and across the U.S. Here you can see the situation in the skies, both locally and nationally. Many of these delays that you're seeing are actually from flights to and from the Middle East. And the situation with Iran is being felt all across the country. People have taken to the streets, not just here, but elsewhere, to both celebrate and condemn the death of the Ayatollah. Let's take a look at celebrating and what happened here. This was in Dallas, Texas. And again, the regime change has some people upset. On the left, a Free Iran rally in the Westwood area of Los Angeles. On the right, another Free Iran rally in Dallas, Texas this afternoon. And on the other side, some anti-war protests popping up all across the country. On the left, you're looking at New Orleans, Louisiana, where an anti-war protest broke out. On the right side, that is Richmond, Virginia, where another anti-war protest was taking place today. And as you can see here in the video, possibly the signs, and many of the signs said the same thing: hands off Iran. And today, ripple effects and reaction across the globe to those U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran this morning. On the left, in the big box, you're looking at Times Square in New York City, where thousands gathered to protest and condemn the actions taken by the U.S. and Israel. On the right, up top, you can see people in Israel on a road leading from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, running and looking for shelter as the IDF was warning of Iranian missiles that were incoming at that time. And just under that, that is Germany, where exiled Iranians were dancing and celebrating and waving Iranian flags. I've translated tonight some of what was said. I am happy. No one wants war. The U.S. and Israel have their interest, but there is no other way for the Iranian people to ever experience freedom. This can only be achieved through external intervention, and I am happy about that people will simply gain a basic freedom like all of us. Iranians are happy that they finally received help from the outside, from the United States and Israel. We hope for a good ending. Also in Germany today, there were protesters outside of the Iranian embassy in Berlin. German police have fenced off the area and are guarding it around the clock. And this was the scene in Iran today after those strikes from the U.S. and Israel. Iran says more than 200 people were killed in the attack. The attack in the middle of the day targeted a meeting of top officials, and the U.S. says dozens of them were taken out. Reactions been pouring in from around the world and right here at home, as we've shown you. In response to the attacks, Iran launched its own round of strikes and retaliation all throughout the Middle East. In a change from past attacks, the first explosions that rocked Tehran happened in broad daylight in what President Trump called major combat operations against Iran.
Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people.
The U.S. and Israel jointly launching the wide-scale attack, smoke billowing from strikes on multiple targets in Tehran. Iran launching retaliatory strikes, drones and missiles targeting Israel, and U.S. assets, including military bases.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God!
Iran also launching drones into nations they believe are helping the U.S., Kuwait, Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, and Jordan.
The Iranians are getting desperate. They are now not targeting military sites. They're going directly after civilian and revenge attacks.
The U.S. strikes against Iran coming after a massive military buildup in the regime and days of speculation about whether the president was going to give the go-ahead for military action. The president making it clear he was not happy with the administration's negotiations with Iran over its nuclear program.
This terrorist regime can never have a nuclear weapon. I'll say it again. They can never have a nuclear weapon.
The president did not seek congressional approval for this attack. And though he claims Iran is working on a missile that could soon reach the U.S., U.S. intelligence has concluded Tehran would not be capable of that for another 9 years.
It's scary how quickly we just lurched to war without any plans, and for something I don't think is in actually our interest.
The White House says that President Trump has spoken with the leaders of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, the UAE, as well as the NATO Secretary General. The White House is working to arrange briefings this week for all members of the House and Senate on the Iran strikes. And we told you that Iran was responding to the strikes, and here's a look more at some of the scenes from the Middle East tonight. This is in the central part of Israel. You can see cars on fire as retaliatory strikes from Iran have been raining down on that city since the initial attack. And this is Jordan. And here's a look at the missiles over the capital city of Amman. The government there saying they intercepted 49 drones and ballistic missiles successfully. And much of the same in Qatar. This is the city of Doha, where the defense ministry says the military shot down missiles before they were able to reach Qatari airspace. Today, the Iranian ambassador to the United Nations spoke on these strikes.
So long as this aggression continues, Iran will continue to exercise its inherent right of self-defense firmly, proportionately, and without hesitation until the aggression ends. The Security Council must act now and stop this act of aggression immediately. Silence is complicity in this crime.
The Israeli ambassador to the UN said the joint effort will continue for as long as the threat remains. And how we got here is also important. The U.S. and Iran have long had conflict, of course, but here are some of the key recent events that triggered this. December 28, citizens of Iran began to protest all over their country, and on January 13th, President Trump encouraged them to keep protesting and that the U.S. could be preparing for military intervention. Since then, negotiations have been taking place without a resolution regarding nuclear buildup, which is happening in Iran. And now we get to early this morning with these strikes in Iran and the Iranian response by conducting missile strikes in places like Qatar, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Abu Dhabi. The United Nations is not pleased with the aggression and the response here.
As always in any armed conflict, it is civilians who end up paying the ultimate price. Bombs and missiles are not the way to resolve differences, but only result in death, destruction, and human misery.
The Commissioner for Human Rights went on to say that he is calling for all parties to de-escalate and return to the negotiating table. As the conflict with Iran escalates, our team is tracking every new development for you. We will keep you updated as we learn more right here on Channel 9.